This is the Go Diaper Free podcast with Andrea Olson, session 4. Let's get into a new frame of mind.
Welcome to the Go Diaper Free podcast, where we're all about teaching you how to stop changing diapers starting at birth. And now, your host. She only had to deal with 1 week of poopy diapers, Andrea Olson.
That is so true. So we've successfully covered thus far why we go diaper free, part 1 of what is EC, when to begin, and now we're on to what can trip you up. I am Andrea, and in this episode of the Go Diaper Free podcast, we're going to cover what can get in your way. What can make EC feel like a subtle version of hell? I call them the 9 EC no-nos. They are things that you'll want to avoid at all costs. So let's dive in. First, the number one thing that parents need to know about EC is with EC, it's all about you. It's about your commitment, your attitude, and your consistency as a parent. Whether you do it part-time or full-time, you are guiding the ship. You get the honor of helping your baby do what he can't yet do for himself. As with feeding and helping your baby sleep, you should learn how to do it and be consistent, which leads to the other piece. We do not live in tribal community, so you'll need to sit down and learn EC. It's just how it is. It doesn't have to be difficult, time-consuming, or complex. Find a good program or method and commit to it, because although every good little newborn pees when he's held in position, most parents who wing it end up in trouble in months to come. Okay, more on this later. First, let's address 9 of the major physical and mental no-nos that could get in your way. By the way, number 9 is the most important one. I have saved the best for last. We'll take a quick look at all of these and then decide if what I'm saying makes sense to you. Okay, so the 9 biggest EC no-nos are: number 1, putting off beginning. Number 2, half-assing it. Number 3, misusing diaper free time. 4, relying solely on the clock. 5, returning to work. 6, not doing the initial work. 7, making life all potty. 8, getting stuck in the EC culture. And 9, winging it. All right, here we go. First off, putting off beginning. Here's the thing. Babies are born ready. We're talking about you now, the parent. The question is, are you ready? At any age, whatever age your baby is. And just a little FYI, things never settle down when you're a new parent. Once you've gotten the ropes, the rules change. The first window of opportunity is 0 to 4 months to start EC. From there on up to 18 months, it is totally doable and you can be fully successful. But the game changes at each stage. Plain and simple, most parents regret that they didn't start EC earlier. So if you already know about it and you know you want to do it, don't put off beginning. Number 2, half-assing it. No. Don't even think that. You don't have to do EC full-time. Most people do it part-time. But yes, when you do it, you should be committed and consistent, as you are with feeding and napping. Half-assing it causes confusion, rebellion, and in general, pee everywhere. So make up your mind, and if you really want to do it, then fully do it, no matter how often you're doing it. Number 3, misusing naked diaper free time, and yes, this can backfire on you and does. Now, all of the research and books written before I wrote mine always talked about using naked time a lot. Let's just say that naked time is great to a point, but now we know new things. We've learned more things. I help a lot of people on my forum specifically with this problem. So, do you want your baby habitually peeing all over your floor for 2 or 3 years? If your baby is only potty trained while naked, your baby is not potty trained. Lastly, unless you live in a nudist colony, we wear clothes in the Western world. To clarify, diaper-free means free from dependence upon diapers, not naked all the time. You got it? This is something that's a big no-no, is just misusing naked time in lieu of diapering and doing it lazily, letting them pee wherever and mopping it up. It's just the same exact thing as diapering them. There's no learning going on, so this can be something that you could avoid. For sure. Number 4, relying solely on the clock, disregarding other more important lasting indicators. So a baby who is EC'd solely by on-the-clock timing will resist this in later months. Just a little heads up. I met a gal at the park once who said that they gave up EC with their newborn after 2 months because she just couldn't handle taking him to the bathroom every half hour on the half hour. I asked, is that how you were taught to do it? Well, of course, it turned out that she was winging it off of free information she got on the internet. Relying on the clock is not enough, and all it will do is drive everybody nuts. It's unreasonable to expect to be able to pee a baby every 20 minutes for his whole life. And it doesn't teach anything, again. So let's go to the 5th no-no. When returning to work, not having a plan. When you go back to work, you do need a bulletproof plan to keep you committed to helping your baby when he needs to. It is so easy to give up. A lot of people get really loose with it, or they totally melt down when they return to work and try to do EC without a plan, and everybody ends up confused. The good news is we have lots of mothers in our community who work outside of home and are able to continue EC successfully and graduate successfully despite having to work outside of home. So it's possible. But the worst thing you can do is return to work without having a plan. Plan is really important. Number 6, not doing the initial work. So some parents skip the upfront work when starting EC. There's a little bit of investment you have to do in the very beginning to learn some things. They sort of skip that part about observing, learning signals, and getting familiar with the natural rhythms of your baby and such. This might be you. Not something to feel guilty about, but something just to fess up about and own it, and then remedy it. Then when the little one gets a mind of her own, the parent is constantly a step behind. This is not fun at all. You don't want to go through that. So do the initial work. Number 7, this is the biggest no-no you could possibly make, well, with exception to number 9, making life all potty. Potty centeredness. Focusing on potty, thinking about potty all day long, every single day, will, I guarantee you, 95% of babies who enter a potty pause is because you're offering too much and too focused on pottying. So, making life all potty will result in potty rebellion. This includes hovering and extends even further into driving baby crazy with praise, questions, over-talking, trying to control your baby's pottying, and showing off to friends. Trust me, you will want to avoid this. It's a tricky balance, though, to do something you've never done before and not make your life all about it, you know? So get somebody in your life, anybody, a community, a person, whatever, to try to tell you, honestly, say, hey, will you tell me if I get too involved in this, if you think I'm overboard in this? Ask your husband or wife, whoever. And maybe somebody can help keep you accountable. Number 8, getting stuck in the EC culture. Although community support in EC is vital and the mommy list can be awesome, oh my, especially those Facebook groups. They are awesome, instantaneous result from thousands of parents worldwide. Be warned. If you get too comfortable as part of this particular community, kind of like at the Hotel California, you can check out any time you like, but you may never leave. And you will want to be done pottying your baby someday, yeah? This is why the forum at Go Diaper Free is so great. We don't discriminate. Like if you want to be done when you're wanting to be done, we support you in doing that. We give you all sorts of resources for that. Although I love you, I actually want you to eventually graduate. So you'll have support in being done when you and your baby are actually done. And please don't get me wrong, I am a member of all the EC lists out there, and there are tons of helpful mothers and brilliant replies. I just don't recommend getting too attached to it all as an identity where you'll never leave. Make sense? All right. Number 9, this is the one we've all been waiting for. The number 1 no-no in EC is winging it. We don't live in a tribal situation where you just know what to do, or you're just born knowing this. So you can just totally wing it and do whatever you found out on mommy blogs and websites and Facebook. You could join a forum or email list and get free advice. These things could actually be enough for a small percentage of ECing parents. I've seen it work. However, I've also seen this way too many times. Any small baby will pee when you hold them over the sink and queue. So you think you're doing EC, but maybe you're just getting lucky. After a few weeks, things start to get tricky. In 12 months, you've got serious problems and you don't know why. And then you're knocking on my door saying, Andrea, could you please help me? And we're all there for you, but there are some things that you can do to prevent this. It's amazing that as simple as EC is to start when you have the proper guidance and visual instruction, without that, there are so many ways it can backfire if you wing it, if you go off of everybody else's advice, if you discard your own intuition in lieu of everybody else's opinions. There's so much great advice out there that winging it may waste your time, confuse you and your baby, and leave you feeling defeated. For instance, getting 40 replies in a Facebook post about what to do for X problem, trying them all, and then giving up. 40 different replies. It can be so confusing. All advice from parents who have EC'd 1 or 2 children. Take it all with a grain of salt if you're part of these groups, or get centralized support like what we've got going on in our community. Especially get support from someone or some community that's done the research and has experience beyond their own child. It really makes a difference. That's why mentorship programs are so awesome for EC. These people can really help you. All right, so what is next? Remember, the number 1 thing parents need to know about EC. Do you remember what that was at the beginning of this show? It's all about you. Your baby was born ready. Are you ready to take the next step and become educated and get that support? So visit me at godiaperfree.com anytime for an entire community of resources. A lot of them are free. Some of them are paid. They were all created in order to avoid these common no-nos. We are updating this community every week, and you'll find lots of people who are getting serious about trying EC from all over the world, and lots of people who are very experienced, and everybody's on the same page with the same information. And this particular community is super sweet. So that's it for this episode of the Go Diaper Free podcast, the 9 EC no-nos and what to do to avoid them all. I want you to go ahead and take a second right now, if you've got a Twitter account, and tweet me at GoDiaperFree with your favorite no-no out of this list or another one that you're going to work on avoiding. I want to keep you accountable, so let me know what your little project is, and I would love to hear from you. You can find a full transcript of this episode plus the show notes at godiaperfree.com/session4. In our next episode, we will cover doing EC and having a life, an introduction to part-time EC. So many folks think you must do EC around the clock 24/7 for it to work, but it's simply not true. Most parents do EC part-time, and I'm going to share with you why and how. Whether you work outside of the home or you're just looking to do EC with some balance, this episode is totally for you. Or if you're thinking that maybe you want to downgrade into a part-time practice, tune in and maybe you'll learn something. If you've got a friend who might want to try it out but is afraid about committing all the time, tell them to tune in as well. In any case, thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Go Diaper Free podcast at godiaperfree.com.